Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. We were just live with my guy VB. We did the quickest outfit change, and we are back live for the Contender series, guys. And we do not have time to discuss the who, what, whens, wheres, and whys. If you guys are channel members, then you already know my exact thoughts on this fight. And also, just as a freebie, I did tweet this one out as well. So if you guys aren't following me over on X, you can follow me there for my thoughts on this fight. But I like the Gauchi side, and both these men are underway, guys. We got 4:40 on the clock, 37, 36, 35. If you're trying to line up with me, we've got red trunks for Gauchi, and Drillich is in the blue trunks. And what I think about this fight, guys, Drillich is a guy fighting out of the southpaw stance. He's got a lot of power in that left hand. He's going to look to crack with that. That is his biggest weapon. On the other side, I think Gauchi's a little bit more well-rounded as a fighter. I think he's got the wrestling and grappling upside in this matchup. And there it is, the first shot of the evening. It is easily stuffed by Drillich. However, Drillich was unable to land cleanly with his counter combination. He put it on the gloves and the forearms of his opponent, Gauchi. Gauchi's looking to press the action. He's got him backed up near the side of the octagon, 3:57, 56 on the clock. Gauchi's trying to stalk forward. You're seeing that Drillich did have a little bit of impact with that right hook. Drillich is trying to throw heavy hooking combinations. As soon as Gauchi closes the distance, he's leading out with a long jab. Gauchi's keeping a tight guard. You're seeing him be very defensively responsible here in the early going, letting a lot of Drillich's shots come onto his forearms, but that could deaden up the arms. He's got to be careful about that. Gauchi's trying to walk him down, put a nice shot on his body there. Good right hand to the breadbasket. I think the much more defensively sound fighter right now is Gauchi, but the much more offensively active fighter is Drillich. It's making for an interesting dynamic. Good jab from Drillich. Drillich is being active with his hands. I'd like to see Gauchi go back to that takedown attempt, and there he does. Nice reactive sprawl from Drillich, though. Drillich is doing a very good job D'ing up these takedowns in the early going. That's a good positive sign for Drillich early in this fight. I was expecting the takedowns from Gauchi to be a little bit easier to come by, but because he's having a little bit of a hard time entering with the hands, Drillich is defending these takedowns quite well. Looking to set up that left hand with power. Gauchi's trying to feint hard, but that feint just drew out a big knee and a very heavy hooking reaction from Drillich. Drillich looks to be the sharper striker early, guys. I got to be honest. If you're a live better, right now, Drillich is looking like the sharper fighter so far in the early going. Unless something changes, it does look like Drillich may have the answers on the night. Drillich starting hot, stuffing takedowns, which I did not expect. So already this guy Drillich has exceeded my expectations. I did not see him defending takedowns at a very high clip on the regional scene. I thought that was one of his weaknesses, one of his flaws. But so far tonight, I think he's done a pretty good job of not only defending the takedowns, but also making his opponent Gauchi pay for the entries. And now you're seeing Gauchi wear it a little bit on his face. He's landing a couple good shots to the body, but there's too much offense coming back from Drillich. And Drillich is the one who's being a little bit more creative with these knees, as well as with the double jab, the triple jab. Nice takedown entry there from Gauchi. That was a much better entry on the takedown. He got all the way inside to the hip on a single leg here, as opposed to a couple shallow double legs. He was able to get a nice knee on the break, but he wasn't able to get the takedown that he was looking for. Drillich's takedown defense, much better studied for this fight. He's done a good job digging underhooks when he needed to and keeping his balance, using the fence as a friend. I like that Gauchi mixed it up with a different kind of takedown attempt, going to that single leg, but I'd like to see him try to press him against the cage for a while. He did just land 2 good right hands there. Gauchi got inside, landed a couple good right hands, but I'd say right now he's behind on the strike count and he's behind on the round. He's gonna have to do something really impressive here to swing this round back in his favor. Drillich is just being the more sharp striker. He's done some damage to the body with his strikes. He's also done some damage upstairs, and you could tell. Oh, that was a low blow. Brief interruption to the contest. Warning from the referee. They slap hands. Man, these are 2 Australians, man. They just literally, there was a low blow, and they just dapped it up right after and started swinging again in the pocket like crazy. Man, hats off to Drillich. If Drillich can keep this pace all night, that would be impressive in and of itself. He's doing a very good job right now. Oh, nice stick with the jab from Gauchi. Gauchi said, let me give him something to think about between rounds. That was a good jab. 5 seconds left on the clock. And Drillich, unofficially on the strike count, up by 14. He had 25-11 on the significant strike count, and definitely seeing some wear on the arms and the body of Gauchi. What a first round that was, though, guys. High amplitude, high action. Both guys were throwing, both guys were attempting offense. And what you saw was just the more competent defense in the takedown department and the more willing offense in the striking department ultimately was what won the round for the underdog there. So for me, I think Gauchi, the favorite, is down a round in this contest right now, guys. I think that Drillich is up 1-0, 1-0. But it definitely could be a fight where we see, anything happen here in round number 2. So 2 crazy Australians about to throw down. I'm going to ask, if you guys are watching with us on YouTube, make sure you go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you're on X, go ahead and hit the follow button as well. Appreciate you guys for the support. And if you don't mind, share it with somebody else. Let's get a few people in here and have a great conversation. Shout out to the sharpest chat in the game. I see some of the regulars already pouring in. Appreciate each and every one of you guys, and a couple new channel members. Shout out to ZC33. I appreciate you guys. And I'm getting Gan. I appreciate you guys. If you want to correct me on the pronunciations, let me know. But thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. Thank you guys for joining up with the memberships. I really appreciate that. And we see Sean Bitter, a couple other people saying that Drillich is coming out here looking very good. With the 10-9 round, I agree with them. So now we're 30 seconds in on round number 2, guys. We got 4:26, 25, 24 on the clock. And what you're seeing is Drillich is much more active, switching stances with his jabs. And I think that that's been the difference maker for him throughout the contest so far, is just his willingness to jab, his ability to jab. He's using it more frequently. Now you're seeing a takedown attempt from Drillich, and he was unable to get it. Potentially the pace of the fight is starting to get to him a little bit, because you're seeing Gauchi continuously pressure. He's been coming forward all night. Despite the fact he's been eating more shots, he has not taken a backward step hardly all night. And he's starting to land to the body a little bit, and Drillich is starting to show a little bit more reactions. In my write-up, I did think that Gauchi was going to have to come on in rounds 2 and 3, but I thought he was going to start off a little bit cleaner in round 1. Now he needs it, and he might get this takedown. Beautiful shot. Beautiful way to cut the angle. He ran a beautiful takedown there. Can he hold him down, though? Good job building back up from Drillich. He's got an extended leg and then a knee to the body. Oh, good answer with the knee to the body from Drillich. Drillich got back up to his feet quickly and answered with some big shots. Man, you got to give some credit to him. It looked like he was starting to fatigue. It looked like he was starting to get figured out, and he worked his way back up to his feet, kept the pace going. But you're still seeing Gauchi press forward, trying to keep on him. Drillich is firing off that jab, but it's starting to get a little more labored. You're seeing less double jabs. Nice elbow over the top from Gauchi. He controlled the wrist and then fired an elbow over the top. Gauchi's starting to snipe a little bit. You're seeing Drillich still pop. He's still throwing a little more, being a little bit more active, but now you're seeing Gauchi really try and pressure him. Nice kick to the body, though. Drillich just dug to a nice kick to the body. And he answers with some punches to the body. These guys are brutalizing each other. Another elbow up top from Gauchi. Man, an exchange of punches. Drillich is landing some good shots. Gauchi unaffected, walking forward. He's doing a good job of controlling the wrist at times, parrying at times, but a lot of these shots have gotten through. Both men are wearing some damage on their face. Drillich is mixing it up better with these kicks, though. He keeps throwing that kick to the body, and it's getting a reaction from Gauchi now. Now a takedown attempt from Drillich, though, and there was nothing on that. Gauchi easily stuffed it. Then he goes to the body. I think Gauchi senses that his opponent is tiring. He just landed a big right hook upstairs. This is a much better round from Gauchi. He's starting to do better work defensively, and he's also starting to be more assertive on offense. Still a very competitive round through this point, though. I just think a fresher man, might be Gauchi, and he may have just hurt him to the body. He just ripped a nice shot to the body, and I didn't like Drillich's reaction there. Now a takedown attempt, and he gets him down again. Gauchi is starting to work. Can Gauchi melt this man? Can Gauchi melt this man? He's looking for the submission attempts. He's looking to get this front headlock game going. Now he goes an elbow. Big elbow up top. Gauchi is looking to unload. Drillich does a good job when he sets his feet in the boxing. He just fired off a nice stiff jab. Good right hand over the top from Gauchi. Again, the very active jab of Drillich. You're seeing Drillich just be the more active party through this contest. I do think the better lands this round have been coming from the side of Gauchi, but it's been very close. It's been very nip tuck. He's going to have to do something big in the last minute to make sure that the judges are going his way here. He's doing a better job parrying the jab here, but when he misses that parry, he's definitely wearing it. Nice rip to the body with the right hand. He's doing a good job occupying the hands with a false jab, then coming in with the right hand to the body, selling out for that shot is Gauchi. The open side left kicks, though, the southpaw double attack of Drillich has been very effective, as well as the switch stance jabs. 38 seconds left in the round. Who's going to make a statement here? Who's going to put a stamp on this one? 33 seconds now. We're just seeing Drillich fire off a little bit more with the jab. He's not asserting himself, but he is throwing a little bit more. He's touching a little bit more. And I think Gauchi may live to regret some of these moments that he's just not doing quite enough. Coming forward, pressing the action, but he's just allowing his opponent to throw a little bit more, do a little bit more. He's got to do something assertive here. Nicely done trying to get a takedown late in the round. Did create an angle for back exposure, but unable to capitalize. Nice right hand over the top, a short left hook, and he did end the round with a pretty punctuated combination, but it's a very close round. I think that one went to Gauchi, but I'd say it's a very close round. He got the 2 takedowns. I think he just slightly may have outworked him there, but there were some heavy body kicks. There were some good combinations exchanged both ways. And it was a very close round. Very close. I'm curious what you guys think. What do you guys think about that round? Quite the chess match, says my guy Cole. I totally agree with you. My guy JB is partying with us. Appreciate you. Curtis has Drillich scorecards no action at plus 130. Interesting, man. Good bet. It seems like Gauchi needs to mix it up more. I totally agree with you. Dixon says, "Oh my God, Liam is 30 seconds ahead of me. I'm sorry about that. Hopefully, we could all catch up." Stimmy says, "Yo, let's get to the money." Absolutely. Cindy says, "Let's go, Gauchi." Absolutely. Cheers. About that, guys. That was some real technical difficulties there. Appreciate everybody who stuck around the blank stream there for 1 second. You guys know it wouldn't be a Liam Picks Fight stream without one technical difficulties here, there, or somewhere. But oh no, no audio now. Oh goodness gracious! Hold on, guys. I'm gonna fix it real quick. Oh, what a disaster! Test, test. Okay, I'm being heard. Sorry about that, guys. That was a absolute, fumble by me. I was trying to read the chat, and I must have hit something or other that sent me back to the StreamYard main page. So that's never happened to me, I don't think, but here we are. Alright, guys, 4:20 on the clock. Blaze it if you've got it. Cheers to you guys. Whatever you're drinking, I'm having a sip of the coffee. We got Drillich and Gauchi. It's either Drillich up 2 rounds or it's 1 round apiece. Gauchi's still the one coming forward, stalking. I do like those optics for him. I'm seeing 10-9 Gauchis in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. So a couple people agreeing with me. Now you're seeing Drillich kind of show a little bit of where he's starting to talk about eye pokes, a couple different things that he wasn't doing before. Then he just threw a knee to the balls. Oh, that's so funny. And Beltran went to stop it. And this guy Gauchi wants to keep the pressure up, man. He said no. He tried to do the Alex Pereira Chama no block, dude. That was crazy. This guy Gauchi is trying to put the pressure on, but you're seeing so much activity from Drillich. I don't know that Drillich can sustain it, but man, he's throwing a lot to start this round. And again, Gauchi's just allowing himself to be in this deficit where he's kind of got to fight back and strikes. Nicely done, though. He did go big with a body shot and then upstairs, with a left hook to the eye, and it seemed to swell up his eye immediately. Now a shot from Gauchi. That one's D'd up by Drillich. Oh, big elbows inside from Gauchi. Then he goes to the level change again. That was brilliant mixed martial arts. That was so smart. He went big shots upstairs, got him to commit. Then he went downstairs. Now he's looking to take him down and take his back. Wow, what a fight. What a crazy effort from both these guys. The elbows inside have been a difference maker for Gauchi. He needs to go back to those. He needs to get the clinch and go back to those elbows. He's doing a good job with the body shots as well. And you're just seeing that more structured defense pay dividends. The only defense for Drilic is the offense, the fact that he's constantly throwing. He has no defensive form, he has no defensive posture. He just gets hit with a lot of clean shots. Now he's doing a little bit of a better job hiding his body, but he gets hit upstairs with the right hand. You're seeing Gauchi load up on these strikes right now. Gauchi's trying to take him out. Holy smokes. Gauchi's walking him down. What a fight, man. Drilic is still throwing back, but I think Gauchi right now is the one who's got more cardio to give. I think he's got a little bit left to give. He's walking forward. You're seeing Drilic throw these little chip shots, right? He's just chipping away, but I don't know that he's really landing the same impactful strikes right now that Gauchi is. Gauchi seems to be setting down on hard shots, committing, throwing precise, landing upstairs, landing to the body, ripping important shots. Nicely done there with the left hand from Drilic. Gotta acknowledge the good shots when they land. Nicely done with that right hand to the body from Gauchi. It's a very close third round. Somebody's got to show what they need. This is a close fight. I think right now we've got a 1-1 on the average scorecard. That's the way I'd see it. Let's see who's going to go out there and prove it. 90 seconds left on the clock. Can somebody get the finish? Can somebody put a stamp on this? Very close fight so far. These two Australian men have flown across the world to get a contract, and they're laying it all out on the line, guys. Champion versus champion. Hex MMA versus Eternal MMA. You're seeing the takedown attempts from Gauchi. They're getting stuffed, but he's throwing in the clinch. He's getting violent. He's getting assertive. 1 minute left on the clock. 103, 102, 101. Who's going to push it? Last 60 seconds. Who's going to do something about it? Gauchi is putting more numbers on the clock in round number 2 and round number 3, but Drilic is ahead on all those rounds, according to the unofficial numbers from the UFC right now. Wow, what a fight. These guys are swinging. They're going. I do think Gauchi's getting the better of this third round, if I'm being honest. But again, that last round, they're saying he got outlanded on strikes. I thought he did the better work. I thought he landed the harder shots, but it's a very close fight. It's a hard to score. A beautiful takedown, an inside trip, and he's on top with 30 seconds left to work. Gauchi said, I'm going to find a way to close the show strong. He got on top. 30 seconds left to work. He's opening up with ground and pound in these elbows from the full guard. Drilic, unfortunately, is now in a compromised position where he's going to have to either take a risk or end this fight on his back. He's working to try and get back up, but you're seeing Gauchi look to pass, dropping big elbows. That is how you finish a fight. That is how you finish a round. I think Gauchi was down 1 round and came back from down 1 to win 2 rounds to 1. Gauchi, 29-28, in my humble opinion, but that's a hell of a fight. I'd give both those guys a contract. I'd give both those guys a shot in the UFC. Those are 2 guys that have went out there and left it all on the line. I can say nothing else, but hey, my hat is off to you gentlemen. What a fight. What a fight. What a fight, guys. I think Tristan is right. I think it comes down to how you score round 2. For me, I think Gauchi got round 2. I think Gauchi got round 2, but it was close. Could go either way. I'm just sharing this with the Patreon folks, man. I'll say this, guys. I got to go ahead and acknowledge. Let's go ahead and pull up the strategy guide. First and foremost, if you bet on Drilic here, guys, go ahead and pat yourself on the back. I think you're on the right side. I think I was playing wrong here. I don't think I gave this guy enough credit, right? And I'll always tell you guys when I think I do well, but I'll also own when I think I may have not given somebody enough credit, right? And if you look here, Gauchi's the younger guy. Drilic had a slight reach advantage, height parity. There wasn't too much to set these guys apart. The social media figures virtually identical. But I thought Gauchi was the side here. I thought it was price prohibitive, anything beyond 70%, in fairness. So it's not. Oh, they gave it to Gauchi. They gave it to Gauchi. Wow. But guys, here's what I'll say. They give it to Gauchi here. I did think Gauchi would win the fight, right? My prediction was he would sub him in round 2 or 3, but I just didn't give this guy Drilic enough credit. He's tough. He's dogged. He's durable. He was willing to push. But I'll tell you what, Gauchi bit down when the going got tough in that fight, and he went out there and fought for a W. That's a tough guy. That's a guy who really wanted it. That's a guy with a lot of experience. And now with wins over Drilic and Urseg, this guy's got a serious resume. coming into the UFC. Shout out to Sean Gauchi. Went out there and earned it in blood today. Hard first round, ate some jabs, showed that he's a real fighter. For me, Tristan is right. That first round for Gauchi was not great, but here's what I'll say. I think that when you look at how you evaluate fighters, right? He was out here all the way across the world, right? Both these guys are used to fighting in Australia, and he's taking on a tough guy who's willing to go out there and throw hard. Dude, I really believe that Drillage is a knockout threat, and the fact that he landed so many shots and wasn't, ever in danger at all, and Gauchi just kept walking it down. For me, that does say Gauchi's got that Terminator-like quality. It could be, special, but he's got to refine the skills, right? I just think that you can't take that much damage, and you can't be that reactive. You got to be a little bit more proactive in round one. But absolutely, good points by you. And I think when you go scroll through here, guys, my lean was towards Gauchi, inside the distance here. Honestly, I thought he was the money line side, right? So we cashed there. But I again think it was a little bit closer than I expected it to be. Is Liam's mic working properly? Are people not hearing me well? Let me go ahead and check my audio. I want to make sure everything is crystal clear. I think it should be. Mic is tweaking a bit. Okay. Hold on one second, guys. Test, test. Can you guys hear me better now? Sound check. Test, test. Y'all can let me know whether you can hear me a little bit better. Huh. Oh, better. Okay, okay, much better. Okay, good. Yeah, I think what happened is the mic just got a little bit unplugged in the wild scramble there. But yeah, ultimately here, if we look at the prediction, guys, I thought Sean Gauchi was going to get the win here over Drillich via sub 2 or 3. I hope that you guys see the analysis wasn't totally crazy, right? He did get the takedowns late. I thought he looked very assertive to end that fight. Maybe if it's a 5 rounder, he was able to go out there and submit him. But ultimately, Drillich improved his cardio and improved his takedown defense from tape. I would not be surprised if both guys got an opportunity with the UFC. For Drillich, it might be a short notice opportunity. They normally don't sign somebody off a loss. But Dana, I think, stood up and clapped for those guys. He was certainly impressed by the fight. And I think both those guys really went out there and fought hard and really earned my respect, certainly. So I think both those guys are UFC level competitors. I think they could go out there and win UFC level fights. And if you guys look back, Drillich, power puncher. I said skills seem quite basic, the less polished ground game. And I still think that that's correct, but in a pure striking fight, this line could play out closer than -2xx. I didn't trust Drillich to stuff takedowns, but that's exactly, where the pivot point was, and then here's what I'm really proud of, guys. Drillich seemed to struggle on the scales, could tax his cardio late potentially, and then what was the end result, right? He ended up getting taxed in his cardio. He ended up getting taken down late when he had defended the takedowns early, so it wasn't a skill issue. It was a lack of cardio preparation there. So I think that overall we did a pretty decent job with this one, but there's room for improvement. So Lord willing, we could keep the ball rolling on the next fight, and at least we got the right winner. But now let's see if we can get the winner, the method around. Get some good things going. So next up, guys, we got Islam Dulatov taking on Vinilto Antunes. And this is going down in the welterweight division. It's the second bout of the evening, guys. And what we're looking at is Islam Dulatov is a top MMA prospect out of Germany, has not lost since turning pro in 2019. Benilto Antunes is one of these classic Brazilian killer be killed type fighters. Is he particularly skilled at anything? No, but he's violent, he's aggressive, he's willing to go out there and throw haymakers, and he does gas out. And so for me, I think that's a big liability for him. I do not like his cardio. I think that when you look at how this projects, it does look like a setup fight for Dulatov. Now, setup fights mean that they want it to go a certain way. It doesn't mean that it's going to go a certain way. I think that when you're looking at these kind of matchups, Dulatov is 3 years younger. He's the taller fighter. He's the longer fighter, and he was the one who was brought in to fight Meng Ding earlier in the year on Contender Series, right? They ended up bringing in Vinildo Antunes as a replacement opponent, and I think that when I'm looking at the matchup, Antunes is too reckless for me with his offense to trust him. In the last fight, we saw that, you could come out and just throw spamming offense, and if you throw enough offense, you're gonna land, you're gonna do damage, you're gonna have a chance, but it's gonna tax your cardio. It's gonna be hard to keep that up. And I think that this Antunes guy kind of fights the same way. He fights very recklessly. He fights all the way in. He fights with 100% aggression, and I don't think he gives himself the cardio uh, edge to, kind of hang on in a fight that gets extended. I think he sells out for the finish. I think he leaves himself nothing. I think he fights till he's on E. And I just think that if he goes out there and attempts a lot of offense early, he's going to have a chance to win, but he's also going to gas himself out in all likelihood and end up making really bad decisions. So the way that I would look to play this, if I was on the Dulatov side, instead of getting with the big numbers, I would definitely be looking at the Dulatov props as a way to buy down on the money line. Round two plus 460, round three plus 900, or the decision. Getting a little bit contrarian. I do think Dulatov has been a little bit untested in terms of his regional scene. I don't think he's fighting the best quality of competition. You could also get creative with some really big numbers on the round and method props. I think that Antunes' best chance to win, which I wrote up in the document, is to win in round one at plus 1600, KO one at plus 2200. And when you look at the reason for that, it's still a welterweight fight, and Antunes comes out throwing absolute hammers in the first round. So I just wouldn't be surprised if he was able to clip, a tall guy with a little bit of that tall man defense on the chin. Shout out to our guy Stimmy, who says he's big on the underdog Antunes. I did say that Antunes plus 650 was the money line side or pass here, just because I think Dulatov should be a big favorite, right? It's not like I don't think he should be favored. I just think minus 400, 80% is about accurate for a welterweight fight against a madman who's going to come out and try and punch you as hard as he can in the head, who's had professional fights, and they're both on the right side of 30. But I think Dulatov is a way better prospect. And when you look, Antunes has no long-term future in the UFC as far as I'm concerned. If this guy makes it, the best he can do is go out there, have a couple fight of the night, fun type performances. But I don't really think that he's a guy that you expect to have a very great future. Meanwhile, Dulatov, I think, could grow into a good prospect. Germany is a big market, not for the UFC right now, but in terms of a big economic driver of the world. And I'm sure the UFC would love if they could get a couple of good German fighters on the roster. Remember, Idris Magomedov signed out of Germany and then goes from no one to someone, right? He goes from having a very small profile in the UFC scene to being in a main event opposite Sean Strickland, right? Then you look at we need Dulatov KO2 for one parlay and ITV for another. Hopefully it's KO2 so they both move. Praying for you, of course. And if any of you guys have bets, anything that you want to shout out with that, go ahead and do that. We appreciate you guys big time. My guy, Jewish Better, is saying that he is available. So let's see if we can go ahead and invite our guy. He was not feeling well yesterday for the Contender Series stream. We did see if he wanted to make it on board, but now he's feeling a little bit better, and see how it all shakes out. But ultimately, guys, I think the way you look to play this fight is multifaceted, right? You could look at a bunch of different props. If you're on the Dulatov, like chalky, he's going to win by sub, something like this. I would encourage you guys always and via method markets because you can find the best available price on Dulatov subs is plus 165, yet you can get the fight to end by sub at plus 150. Do I expect this guy to win by sub against Dulatov? No, I do not. But did we see, a point karate guy go out there and kick a guy in the head and then choke him on this season of Contender Series at plus 3,300? Yes. And so would you rather have 15 cents more of, potential win equity, or would you rather have, all the upside of the other guy potentially winning a club and sub or a weird submission, all these kind of things that I would always rather have the slightly less plus money to have, a bigger chance of catching. And if you guys look at the weekend, there's an example of that in my betting, right? I bet Ryan Spann to win by submission at plus 700, but then I also bet on the fight to end by submission at plus 360. And the reason being, if I think it's going to end by submission for one guy, then there may be grappling exchanges that could create value on the other plus money. And I'd rather have both and cash them both, right? Whereas if you end up with just the one and then you cash nothing, you'll be sick in your hands. So that's just the way I always think about it. Dixon says, "Are you on the Fernando Tatis home run tonight?" I am not, my brother. I have not looked into this Dodgers game too much, but I do. I do appreciate you, my man, and I hope that it comes through for you if you're on it. Let's see what we've got. Nice. It seems like a couple people in the Patreon cash on Gouchy, so that's always good to see. Okay. Looking here. Yeah, the official prediction for me on this one, guys, is Dulatov via stoppage in round 2 or 3. But I definitely think it's going to be a crazy round 1. You know, I was mentioning on the show that I did last night with Gordo that I think there may be a chance that you look to live bet on this fight if you are on the Dulatov side because he may get taken down. You know, he's a very big. And for me, the only criticism I have is that he can get a little bit upright in his stance. That could lead to you getting chinned. It could also lead to you getting taken down. And that was what I mentioned in my analysis, right? Dulatov has the right look, the right skills, these kind of things. But um, if you look at his problems, you know, he does just seem like his ability to get stood up along the fence line is like his one glaring weakness. So I think that's something that we always want to keep in the back of our mind is where somebody's position, right? I think Antunes is going to come out like a bat out of hell, and that's what he looks like right now. So, woo, we're back to full screen. We're going to need a big sip of the coffee for this one, guys. It's going to be full steam ahead. 3-inch height, 3-inch reach, and 3 years of age in the advantage for Islam Dulatov, the 26-year-old freak out of Germany. And I mean freak in a good way. JB knows sharps on both sides, and I did just send you the link on Twitter, my brother, if you'd like to join us. All right, guys, drop a like on the stream. We're getting started. 451, 450, or excuse me, 448, 7, 6 on the clock. If you're trying to sync up, Dulatov is taking the center early. He's looking assertive and confident with his hands. He's showing the kicks. He's showing a lot of feints. He's touching it already. Came in with a very aggressive combination, landed some good shots. He's getting off on some big combinations, but he is exposing his chin a little bit. Man, he's really coming rapid fire right away. Oh, he might have finished him. He might already be over. He's got him in bad situations. He's already looking to hop on his back. Wow. Dulatov is starting hot. He's fighting like he left something at home on the stove, borrowing from Diego Lopez there. I like what he was doing, consolidating that wrist control. And he's trying to come over the top for a back take. 19 significant strikes already in a minute. This guy, Dulatov, is not fighting to get paid by the hour. He said, F your round 2 and round 3 props, Liam. I'm coming to kill. Dulatov, take a chill pill, my man. And Tunes will get tired if you just keep pressing him into the fence like this. Then you can cash the round 2 like a real kid. Man, this has been a crazy start, guys. Let's see if either one of these guys gasses out. Antunes definitely just threw a nice knee to the body, but he looks hurt still. He looks like he's wobbled and rocked and hasn't gotten his legs back under him. The referee's let it go, though. And now Antunes seems to have found his legs, but he definitely still seems to be, dazed and confused. You know, he's not looking to hurt himself. He's just getting jabbed up. He's getting touched. He's going to need a takedown or to close the distance because he is just getting hit with so many clean shots. Dulatov is sniping and picking his shots very easily. He landed a big uppercut, but he traded it for a low kick that took him off his feet. Dulatov finally felt some resistance there as he got low kicked to the ground. Man, Dulatov's just landing these sharp strikes, though. That right hand is potent. Antunes is swinging absolute haymakers, but he just showed his back once again. Oh, this is a much more threatening attempt from Dulatov, and now he's got the fight to the ground. Antunes is looking to build himself back up along the fence. Antunes is able to do so. He digs an underhook, he throws a knee to the body. They exchange a couple good knees from Dulatov. Antunes looks fatigued already, but he's starting to swing back a little bit. He's gotten out to the center. Big elbows up top. And Tunis is swinging wild. Dulatov's taking a little too much damage for my liking for a prospect. He's going out there swinging wild and aggressive. Oh, he just crumpled him. Oh, my God, he killed him. Oh, my God, he killed him with the right elbow. Wow. Wow. That was incredible. Good Lord. Good Lord, guys. He just killed him with a right elbow. That was incredible. He hit him so many times. I was starting to think Antunes was invincible, and oh my goodness, the right elbow was just all that needed to be seen there. No follow-up needed. Oh my goodness. Wow, just started. They brought that guy in to lose, unfortunately. But I did think he was gonna make it to round two. Oh yeah, Dulatov looks like he can keep going all night like that. That's crazy. Damn. I'm really sorry about the mic situation, guys. Let me see if it's a setting. Test, test. Does it sound any better, guys? Oh, let me go to my settings and see if I turn something on. All right, guys, how does it sound? Y'all let me know. Okay, my guy Marcus says the audio sounds good. I'm going to trust that for now. If my audio sounds crappy, guys, please let me know. I'm trying my best to, fix whatever settings I messed up. I always tell you guys the furthest thing I am is a sophisticated you know technology guy. So everybody's saying it sounds better now. I'm glad to hear that. Ultimately, though, guys, that one was just clinical from Dulatov. You had to just take the square chalky lines there. Unfortunately, wow, he went out there and absolutely smoked him in the first round. Jeez Louise. There was no value there. Just had to take round one minus 110. Turn audio up a little. Test, test. Does that sound better? Or are we go in the right direction or the wrong direction? Here, let's see. Test, test, test. Test, test. All right, Lord willing, the audio works from now. And I will try and troubleshoot it even more in the in-between. I think these are my normal settings right now. So, Lord willing, this is what works. But if I need to turn up the mic or whatever we need to change, we'll make it happen. Camacho by KO is the only thing worth playing at plus 1,300. Honestly, I'm excited to talk about that one next. It has not been the hottest start tonight for the betting guide, right? And I'll always own when we do very well, when we do just okay. So we started off well with the money line sides, right? I was on Gauchi and I was on Dulatov, but I wasn't able to sniff out any really good plus money angles. And the way I look to play it is if I like the favorite, I'm looking for a way to play them at plus money. It was mostly chalked out on the Dulatov side. I think he could have got some slight plus money on the KO there, but I thought it was honestly just a give or take between the KO and the submission. People are saying it's a little low in terms of the audio. So I'm going to just try and bump it up to 155, and we'll see how this sounds. Hopefully this sounds a little bit better. Let's see where we're at. the audience. So we're just going to have to push through. But let's pull up the document to present on screen. And this is what we're working with. So we had Dulatov. We thought it was going to be either a ground and pound or a rear naked choke. He ended up killing him with an elbow on the feet after a couple of back takes that were nearly there, but he couldn't quite complete them. Then we thought Sean Gauci maybe was going to get the stoppage in round 2 or 3. Instead, he had to win rounds 2 in order to get the decision there. Now we're looking at the third fight of the night. And I think that Lucas Camacho is the money line side in this fight. He's the underdog in this matchup. But this is the way that I'm looking at it, right? Number one, we're going to zoom so we can go point by point. I started off my analysis by saying Pinto is a top prospect for Portugal. He trains in London. Camacho is a Brazilian MMA fighter. He definitely flies under the radar. I was mentioning on my show yesterday, I think I was his 10th subscriber on YouTube. The guy's posted some of his own fights on YouTube. And I always encourage people, go show him some love. Go show him a little bit of support because he's out there putting his fights up and nobody's really watching. But in any case, I think the right man is favored, right? I think Mario Pinto should probably be favored because he's the younger fighter. However, I think that it's just way too wide of a line, right? Pinto has been going to decision at times with regional level fighters. He's not always finishing these guys. A lot of times, kind of like we saw in the first fight of the night, we saw Gauci against Drillich. Drillich fights a lot of the time moving backwards. I think you could say the same thing about Mario Pinto. Pinto, a lot of times, fights moving backwards. And I do think that that could be a problem for him against somebody in Camacho who's very willing to come forward. Now, Camacho can be clipped on the chin. We've seen that in his fights before. But I do think he's willing to take a shot. I do think he's willing to keep coming forward and pursuing the finish. And I do think he's a pretty tough guy. We saw him get hurt. We saw him get taken down. And he works back up to his feet. He keeps trying to win. So for me, I think that he was worth a shot at over plus 450 on the money line in this spot. I don't think that Pinto can justify these prices. The reason being, he's young enough to be rebuilt after a loss. He's just 26 years of age in a division where a lot of guys take a long time to mature. Then you look at the fact that he's been to decision 3 out of 8 professional fights. He's not going out there and killing these guys each and every time. His ground game is still a work in progress. He's won a few fights in a single tournament before. That was kind of cool. But I like Camacho's response to adversity. And as a big underdog, a lot of what you need is a response to adversity, right? If they think that you're going to get your butt kicked, then it's about what's going to happen when you start getting your butt kicked. And I do think that Pinto might come out and be a little bit of a slickster and get some shots. But I just have a feeling that Camacho can weather a storm, can deal with some adversity, some strife, and then find a way to win. I do think Pinto by sub is an interesting potential angle because he's fighting a Brazilian who's a big, long guy. And I do think that we've seen Camacho get taken down and kind of give up his back, looking to rush back up to his feet. And I do think that Pinto could potentially snatch a neck there. That's one thing that I think people can consider here. My sub is a similar price. And I always say if one guy could get the sub and the other guy is Brazilian, the other guy can club and sub, there's a bunch of different things. Sounds like I'm underwater. Man, I really am so disappointed. What is going on with my microphone, guys? Is going on? Oh, something happened to your mic after I removed myself from the stream. Okay, let me try and do this then. Yo, can you guys hear me now? Can you hear me now? That's an old Brock Lesnar quote for the old school MMA fans out there. Okay, I'm hearing that people can hear me now. Lord willing, it was just a problem from coming in and out of the stream. Hopefully the mic persists, but ultimately, guys, you got to make a pick in these fights, and I believe that Lucas Camacho is a live underdog. Why? A few different reasons. Number one, the best available goes to decision is only plus 132, and Camacho, the underdog here, is as high as 11 to 1 to win this fight by decision. So they're saying, that the fight is, a little bit under 50% to go
to decision. Yet this guy, it's just like there's no way he wins a decision, and I just don't see why. Both these guys are undefeated. Both these guys have won decisions before, and a lot of finishes for Camacho, but he's won as an underdog. There's just a lot of things that I like about this guy and this spot long term. Brazilians against guys from Europe, I think probably is a plus EV angle on the Contender Series long term. But in any case, I'm excited to see this one shake out, guys. This should be a fun fight. I do think Pinto is a long-term prospect, but I do think Camacho right now is a live underdog. Shout out to everybody in the chat. It looks like we got some people rooting for Camacho via KO in the chat. So God bless you guys. Definitely rooting for everybody who's rocking with us. And once again, guys, I just wanted to shout out. We had a couple people join up with channel memberships off the top of the show. And I really appreciated the love and support from Im Gittigan and ZC33, a couple of the first ever members of the Liam Picks Fights YouTube channel. So I really appreciate the support, guys. We're on the road to 4,000 subscribers on YouTube, and we need to get there today. We are absolutely putting in the work today. I was on live with VB earlier, and we are here for the Contender Series live. We'll be back to talk more Tyra and Royval later in the week. So if you don't mind, guys, make sure you get subscribed and show a little love and support. We've got another fight that we're about to call live here on the Contender Series, and we'll be sticking with you live throughout the entire night of fights. So I'm very excited to break it all down. Shout out to our guy, Gray, the newest member of the channel. Gray, you are an absolute legend. Thank you so much for the support, and we will be doing much more with the channel memberships as it grows, right? When there was no channel members, we couldn't do a members only live stream and some of these things that I think will be really cool as we continue to build this up. So thank you so much for the support. And, I got a lot of plans, so appreciate you, Gray. Thank you. Dixon says, you'll be fine. Dixon is chilling. You got this, Dixon. I'm going to be very upset if you're not wearing a Japanese kimono for bets and banter. I don't know what we'll do, but maybe we'll get a Tyra t-shirt or something. Maybe we'll have to figure something out. But this guy has made me so much money. I got to support my boy somehow. It's my pleasure, brother. It's my pleasure, Gray. I appreciate any support, man. I appreciate everybody who's just here chilling and rocking with us. But anybody who takes that extra step to support, become a member, I really appreciate that, my man. That was absolutely nuts, man. I'm still reeling from that last knockout, guys. Holy smokes. They set up Dulatov for that, but that was actually crazy. Dulatov let him know what time it was with that elbow. Wow. It's been the night of the elbow. Gauchi with the elbows and then Dulatov with the elbows, guys. Let's see what happens here in this next one. And I'm going to go full screen. And let's see how this one shakes out, guys. 31 years old for Lucas Camacho, 26 years old on the other side. So definitely some predictive factors for Pinto, but I think that this is going to be a more competitive fight. Let's see how it shakes out. A touch of the gloves, and we'll give you guys the clock when we get it. 4:57, 56, 55, 54. And we've got Camacho taking the center early, showing feints, showing the hands. Kind of what I expected. A couple of inside low kicks from Pinto. Nice outside low kick from Camacho. And then a good jab from Pinto. Camacho is being a little loosey-goosey with the hands, a little non-committal. Nice jab from Pinto. That was a sharp strike from him. You see that Pinto is an athletic guy. Even when he's on his back foot, you could tell that he lands with some authority. Nice low kicks, though, from Camacho. I think that's a really good strategy from him. And he just put a couple good hands upstairs. You're seeing a good, responsible guard for the most part, from Pinto. But at times, his hands start to drift and he gets a little bit careless. Camacho's been the more aggressive party early. But I think, they've both been about equally effective. Pinto picked his shots a little bit with the jab. Maybe a slight edge to Camacho through 1 minute. He just threw an overhand right. Oh, nice counter right from Pinto. That was a sharper right hand from Pinto, and he did connect, but Camacho wears it well, man. He didn't show any damage, and he took the shot pretty nicely, and it was a heavy right hand. Couple of good low kicks from Pinto, but he wasn't able to put anything behind him. He kind of just chopped with the same low kick twice. Wasn't able to load it up. You saw Camacho answer with the hands. Oh, Camacho just got rocked really badly. Camacho needs to defend himself right here. He's hurt. Oh, the referee just jumped in to intervene. It looked like he was trying to play some guard, but he was hurt badly. Man, Pinto put a hand on him, and that was the end. Oh, good Lord. It was a competitive fight until it wasn't. Wow. Absolutely stunning. Stunning. Pinto ends it early. Man, he was a favorite for a reason. Wow. I thought we were going to see a little bit more competitive of a fight there, but Pinto with the speed, he was able to take him out. Let's see what the actual shot was. It was just a left hook. He took a little page out of Alex Pereira's book, with that little short left hand. Man, and it did seem like Camacho was aware of what was going on, and it looked like he was trying to defend himself, but he kind of rolled onto his back. He took one or two more ground and pound shots, and Beltran intervened. That's a tough one. That's a tough one for him. Shout out to Pinto, man. Pinto looked very calm and poised in this fight, and he landed, and when he did, it counted. Oh, boy. Man, I'll tell you what, though. The under was mispriced for this fight, If the fight goes the distance, it was plus 136, this one ended in the first round, so holy smokes. Yeah, Tristan says, I guess minus 700 wasn't wide. When a fight ends that quickly, I guess you don't really get that clear an answer, but certainly the faster guy, the better athlete was Pinto there, so just shout out to him, man. When you're dealing with heavyweights, right, the runouts are sometimes a little bit unclear, but it just looked like right there, the guy who was a little bit of a better athlete, a little bit more experience, he was able to get it done quick. Shout out to him. And when you look back, my prediction for the fight was Camacho round 2, 3, or decision, right? When you get to round 2, 3 and decision, it starts to be about cardio, heart, conditioning, things like that. And in round 1, it's about who's a better athlete and who's more technical. And unfortunately, Pinto checked both those boxes as the big favorite. And he was also the bigger guy, right? Checked all the anthropomorphic boxes with the height as well as the age advantages. So it was a tough one for that guy. He went out there and tried his best, and he got absolutely cleaned up. I thought he was fighting well, too. That's the tough thing about fighting, man. He went out there, and I thought he was looking great until he died. So he did get hit with that other big right hand, though. So maybe it was just an inevitability. I think Pinto was picking his shots a little bit better. But Camacho, it's not like he didn't land. It's just that when he was trying to land, it was more with the committed low kicks. And the committed low kicks are going to take a while to develop. Whereas when you saw Pinto landing, it was with the big shots upstairs, the eye-catching, pop your head back type strikes. So shout out to him. All right, guys, let's go ahead and share this back on the screen. This is the write-up. Cody Steele and Chasen Blair. And I was going on live with my guy VB, so I had to be a little bit quicker about the write-ups for the last two fights of the evening. But here's what we've got. We've got Cody Steele, 6-0, taking on Chasen Blair, 6-2 at 155 pounds. This is the fourth fight of the night. This is the co-main event of the evening. And I thought that the line, was playable on the Cody Steele side at minus 2XX. I had said as much on my show last night, if you guys listened to the show I did with Gordo. However, I think at minus 3XX against a guy like this, the line is starting to get away. I don't think that Chasen Blair is just a bum. I don't think he's like a pushover or anything like that. But it was the kind of, fight to me where Cody Steele, he's the better guy at most things in this fight. Like, I think he's the better fighter in most phases, but it's still a competitive fight. Like, it's still two guys that both have some skills. I just think Cody Steele, if you go grapple for grapple, I think he's the better grappler. I think when you look at the wrestling, I think he's slightly better as a wrestler. I think it's close, but I think he's slightly better. I think when you go, striking for striking, I think both guys have their skills, but I think that Cody Steele could definitely put the heavier hands on you. So for me, it just seems like a very favorable matchup for Cody, but it's not one where it's like, Cody should be minus 1,000 because Chasen Blair is just not that guy. He's going to go out there and swing. He's going to go out there and throw. He could clip him on the chin, but I think he's got two paths to victory, which is a close decision or a knockout. And I think that on the other side, Cody Steele has every path to victory. I do think he will finish this fight, but it's not going to be easy. I think he's going to have to go out there and either put some heavy hands on this guy and put him down, and I do think he can catch him flat-footed and do that, or I think he's going to have to submit him. And that's where I think Chasen Blair just puts himself into wrestling and grappling situations sometimes as a reactive defensive instinct. And he did that against Hassan Zada and got submitted. I just think that that's really tough sledding against a guy like Cody Steele. His grappling is higher level than Hassan Zada. And Hassan Zada, you could say it was an opportunistic knee bar, but it was the failure to put a foot on the butt from Chasen Blair that made me think like maybe this guy's grappling isn't as well versed as you'd hope it would be. And so I do think Cody Steele, if he goes to the leg lock game, would submit him, honestly. So for me, that's the way I see this fight going down. If we look at the official prediction, I got Cody Steele via stoppage in round 1 or 2. I lean towards the submission. And I also shouted out the props to consider. Cody Steele inside the distance at plus 130 or better. Steele by sub plus 335. The KO at plus 430 is okay. I thought 5-1 was better yesterday when we talked about that on the show. And then if you're on the Blair side, I think Blair by KO at plus 750 or the round props as well as the decision would be the ways I'd look to play him. I do think that he has some merit as a dog, but ultimately I think Cody Steele, better prospect, blue chipper. I think he's the guy who's, the UFC is looking to sign, looking to get behind. If you guys don't mind, go ahead and do us a favor. Drop a like on the show. Go ahead and get subscribed to the channel if you're new here on YouTube. If you guys are watching on X, that's okay. But we'd love to see you guys join us on YouTube as well, because then you can participate right here in the live chat. We always appreciate whatever comments, thoughts, concerns that you guys have. We'd love to hear them. And if you guys have any bets on these fights, I'd love to know about it. Over here in New York, we're unfortunately locked out, right? They don't let us play here on the Contender Series for whatever reason, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to go hard with the effort and the energy each and every week. Try and get the right sides. And looking back, guys, one thing I want to do is go back to our Contender Series recap, because I did post this on Twitter. So bear with me for 1 second here as we're between fights. So here we go. So we're going to share this tab. If you guys look, these are since week 1, all the different winners that we've shouted out in the betting strategy guide. Loner Kavanaugh inside the distance plus 350 and KO plus 600. Jose Delgado KO plus 200. Rami Hamed decision plus 600. Haddon by sub. He's in the UFC this week. By sub plus 700. Malcolm Wellmaker, ITD plus 110, cashed it quick. Bogdan Grad, moneyline and decision plus 350. Pulayev decision plus 750. Siak Hyun Khan, moneyline plus 240 and decision plus 1200. DeJordan Santos, moneyline plus 300, decision plus 750. Bashi sub plus 115, ITD minus 160, fight not to go minus 185. So we hit a bunch of winners in the first few weeks. And then, guys, looking back at the last couple weeks, it's been even hotter. Last week, DR moneyline, Alberto Montez, ITD, either by sub, Montez round 2, sub 2. The exact prediction was Anaconda choke in round 2. Got it perfect. Torres Finney, inside the distance plus 112, round 1 plus 350, KO 1 plus 500, cash all of those. The KO 1 was the prediction as well in the document. Jacoby Smith, ITD as well. Minus 150, Vallejos plus 300 the week before, Kevin Christian by sub. So we've had a lot of winners. And speaking of Hassan Zada, right? If you look back, look at Hassan Zada was here. We had him by sub plus 320 as well as the sub 3 plus 1900. All shouted out in the doc, all shouted out beforehand. So hopefully we can keep the winners going. And speaking of, we got another winner in the building. My guy, Jewish Betting, fresh off the JB special of the year. How are you, my brother?
What's going on, my dude? How you doing, bro? Your energy is unmatched, by the way, bro. It's ridiculous. I haven't even watched the first 3 fights, but I'm listening in, and I feel like I'm there the whole time. It's perfect.
Hey, brother, I'm glad that you're enjoying. I always try to make the commentary, something a little bit different, right? Because you can always listen in on the broadcast and hear, the same kind of conversations and things like that. But I really like to try and be fun, talk about the bets, but also, have a laugh and also try and call it the way we see it, where we learn something along the way. What are these guys doing well? What are, maybe they not doing well, and what could they learn from the experience? So, man, we take away a lot of valuable information, I feel, from these streams. I always have a blast doing it. So nobody I'd rather have on the stream than you, my brother. Let's see if we can find a winner, my man.
Yeah, I hope so, man. I really like this kid Cody Steele, bro. I guess I'm a little biased. I've seen him live a couple times now, and just one of the things that I noticed when I was there is the guy likes the striking. There's an audible pop when the guy is hitting his opponent. I think he's fought similar level competition to this guy. I don't think Blair's a complete scrub. I actually think he's a legit fighter. I just think Cody Steele's a little bit better. He's not Cody Steele. That's what I'm going to say. He's not Cody Steele. I think Cody Steele can when we talk about fighter preference, like this guy Cody Steele was training with the Tackett brothers. He was into the jiu-jitsu. 6 months ago, this guy moved to Vegas. He packed up. He said, I'm not staying here. I'm going to a real MMA gym. I'm going to go to Syndicate MMA, where we just saw Khalil Roundtree fight out of. So now you take the jiu-jitsu and you really, mash it into MMA. The guy's coming off a bunch of KOs. So we talk about fighter preference a lot. I think, I know he's a jiu-jitsu guy. I think he likes that KO now. You fall in love with that KO. And I think he could hit his opponent, and I think he could hurt him. I also think the sub is live too, and I can see it right there as well. I think he's way better on the mat. I think he has the jiu-jitsu advantage. I don't think this guy. Like it says also here, he's got good wrestling. He's got power. Blair's got decent wrestling. You know what I mean? And you could go to his accolades. You could list those, but I just think Cody Steele's a little bit on the upper echelon, bro.
You know what it was for me that made me think it was the sub here? Because I agree with you in terms of Cody Steele's preference, right? But the thing that makes me hesitant here, right, is that I think that Chasen Blair, when he started to get touched up a little bit against Hassanzada, he was the one that initiated the wrestling and the grappling. He goes for that rear waist cinch, and then the guy rolls through, and he got leg locked, and that's all good. Like, no problem, right? Except that it looked like he had no idea what he was doing. My leg lock defense maybe could use some work, right? I'm never going to say I have the best leg lock defense, far from it. But definitely I'm going to put a foot on the butt if somebody's trying to knee bar me, right? Like, definitely I'm going to do that. And he just looked like he had no idea what to do and tapped out of, like, frustration and also, like, pain. So for me, that was a little bit of a sign of naivete, inexperience maybe on the mat. And if that's the case against Hassanzada, I do think it's definitely live against Steele. And if he initiates any kind of wrestling or grappling with Steele, I think Steele could pull himself into a leg lock exchange and tap him, honestly. So that's the one thing where I'm like I think he could submit him easier than he could knock him out. I think if they swing on the feet, it's slightly more competitive. But I do think that I like Steele's power a little bit better. I like his footwork a tiny bit better. But I think Chasen Blair, he's not a pushover, right? Like, I expected a guy with a loss to Hassanzada on his record to not be very good. Just no disrespect, but just that's the way I saw it. And then when I looked at the fight, it didn't tell me he was bad. It just said, like, he was starting to get overwhelmed a little bit early, tried to, take a little steam off the guy, and just made a mistake that cost him the fight. But I think that, against Cody, it's small margins for mistakes. The one thing I will say, though, I did note this on my breakdown last night. Cody did cut weight before. Right now he's got to cut weight again for this fight and do all these things. He had a date in mind that he prepared for, and he didn't get to go out there and execute. Sometimes that could just throw off somebody's process, right? You like to see guys just have, a normal camp. Everything goes according to plan. And so now he's got to pivot and do everything a little bit different against a little bit of a different opponent. So I think he should win. I think he should be favored. I think all those things. But I just want to acknowledge that Chasen Blair is not some punk. He's a good fighter. And, I do think that Cody Steele's got to go out there and earn this one. But I think he's got the skills, the tools, the ability. And we're probably about a minute and a half to 2 minutes from this one going down, the co-main event of the evening. So you guys have my official prediction. I got Cody Steele in round 1 or 2 via stoppage. I'm leaning towards the submission, but I do think Chasen Blair is live to win the fight via knockout or very close decision. Those are the 2 paths to victory that I see for him. I would be very surprised if he submitted Cody Steele. I think that would be the most surprising outcome in this fight. But otherwise, I could see a variety of outcomes here. I do think Steele invites a little risk when he's throwing crazy in the pocket, but he also hits very, very hard. So I think he trusts his chin, and I think he trusts his power. And
he's got a good chin.
Oh, he does. Absolutely. But looking at the anthropomorphic advantages, I will say, I noted in my breakdown, Blair has the anthropomorphic advantages here. Reach parity at 71 inches. He is 1 inch taller, 5'10" compared to 5'9", and 3 years younger in this contest. So he does have a couple things move in his direction. However, I think that, in terms of the skills and abilities, that's where I would draw the line. But now we are live, guys, and I'm counting in 455, 54, 53. We got Chasen Blair in the blue trunks. We got red trunks for Cody Steele. And Cody Steele looks to have taken the center here in the early going. I'm going to bounce out the notes, and you've got me and JB calling the action for you live. Chasen Blair attempts a head kick there. Fell short. Cody Steele did just walk onto a right hand, but he seemed to have his guard up. Chasen Blair definitely looks a little bit more loose on the feet. I think kind of like a Jose Aldo. You see a lot of tension in Cody Steele. He just went for a takedown and got D'd up. Chasen Blair just
defended that takedown very well.
He did. I think that we've seen such a rapid evolution in the average takedown defense in MMA. Man, it's flying through the roof. Even in that first fight of the night, I thought Gauchi was going to have a lot more success early with the takedowns, and he needed to get him late after the guy fatigued. I thought we saw massive improvements from him in the takedown defense from Drilic, and I think that we're seeing the same from Blair. He was obviously a good wrestler, but I think that he's done a good job of using his defensive instincts, that right hand on the retreat.
That was a nice right hand from Blair.
Absolutely. 3:41 on the clock, 40, 39, 38, 37. So just to count you guys back in, Cody Steele is holding center, but right now he's behind on the strike count. He's looking to find a way back into this fight to reassert himself. One big shot could change everything, and he did just land a solid right hand. Probably his best strike of the fight so far. A blocked head kick for Cody Steele, but he put that on the forearm. Oh, he just got jabbed up, and it looked like he lost his equilibrium for a second, but he quickly got it back. Man, Chasen Blair, excellent start for the underdog.
Looks good.
He does. Sharp hands.
My man Cody Steele needs to get his respect.
Oh, he just landed a very solid right hand, though. Just put a simple 1-2 together and a nice kick to the body.
He's getting his reads for sure. Looks like he's settling into the fight a little bit.
Blair. Right hand over the top for Cody. And then he shoots a takedown. That was a much better takedown entry from Cody. Got
his attention with the hands, changed levels. He's in on a single here. Good balance.
Oh, wow. Cracking exchange. Blair clipped him on the chin there, man.
Yeah, it's just the optics for Cody. He's just not reacting to these shots very well.
Oh, he landed a couple big right hands there, and it seemed to get Blair's attention, but he got clipped on the counter. His defense is just not there with his offense right now. His offense is so powerful, but his defense is so open. Now he just landed a couple big shots, though. Blair seems to be stunned.
Yeah, his eyes are getting wide every time Cody hits him.
I mean, dude, do you see the right side of his face?
I'm telling you, man.
They're now very red. And
Fury's
I think Cody's wearing it better, but he's also taking some brain rattlers.
Absolutely. Fury is like a intimate setting like the Apex. It's not much, probably around the same size. And I was there, man.
This is a war.
Tell you,
Cody
the second
Steele,
hit.
you'd never know it looking at his face, but these guys have just battered each other for the better part of 3.5 minutes. And now you're seeing Cody Steele start to walk him down with a little more authority, putting that jab out there. And you're seeing Chasen Blair take a couple deep breaths. I think he might have broken something in his face because there's some swelling going on. Far. Nice left hand from Cody Steele.
Let's go.
Cody just hangs his chin out there, but man, he lands with such power and authority.
He's going to break him, bro. I'm telling you. I could feel it coming.
He went to the body there big with that right hand. He's starting to mix that up, and I think that was what Gauchi did to set the tone, right? When you're not getting the takedowns off, go to that level change and then rip them to the body. Cody's just throwing so open with these exchanges. Like, he's doing great, but like one sharp counter and it could be sleeping.
He's there to be hit.
Yeah. Oh, and I mean, they're cracking each other hard.
Holy
Very hard. Cody Steele has taken back the initiative, though. He's up on the strike count unofficially. Nicely done checking that kick as well. Chasen Blair tried to angle off. I think here's the problem with Chasen Blair. I mentioned it in my breakdown. Look how flat-footed he gets.
Oh, good work from Cody.
He's very good with his striking, but after a few minutes of a fight, you just start to see him get so flat-footed in exchanges that guys can create angles on him. They can move around. They can circle. They can use footwork. And Cody's unable to take him down right now. But look at who's labored. Like, this guy Blair is exhausted already. You could tell.
I agree.
Dude, Cody is walking him down with his hands at his sides. Holy shit. Cody Steele, never lacking for confidence. Big high kick to end the round. Cody Steele just won that round back. That was beautiful.
Yeah, that's one up.
Dude, he started that round getting his ass whooped, and then he ended that round whooping his ass. Yeah, Cody in the UFC is going to get chinned really horribly, but I think he's got the tools to win this one right now.
I think he knows that he could just, walk this guy down. I think he knows he's breaking him.
I tend to agree, but I'm just saying, like, in general, dude, like, a lot of his exchanges have just been like,
oh, he's there to be hit.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's literally like these huge looping shots up and down. Yeah. And the problem with that is, like, when you're going with such width, somebody could come up the middle. Somebody could come with just a straight shot or an elbow. Like, there's a lot of ways I feel to intercept, those kind of attacks and just make somebody pay. Same thing with a knee. I think, what did you see? What's his name do? Drillich. He mixed in those knees a little bit and started to catch Gauchi when he would get over aggressive coming in like that. And I think that that's a good read that, you'd like to see out of Chasen Blair if he wants to react here. But I think it's 1-0 Cody personally. Yeah. And I also think Cody looks much fresher.
I would agree with both of those statements, bro. Let's see how he does. I really would like him to get the KO. That would be a great prop to hit. I like the kid. Absolutely. Cody, man. Like I said, I want to see him win, but see a finish.
Chasen Blair, a couple big deep breaths. I think that what Cody needs to do right now is try and hit him with a couple body jabs and make him work. Maybe shoot a couple takedowns in this first 90 seconds. I think that would be the wisest strategy to get the sting off his punches, to put some doubt back in his mind, and then to try and finish him in the second half of this round.
I tend to agree. I think you should definitely try to mix in the grappling here. It would only further the cardio advantage, I think. This guy's tired, bro. He's throwing still, though. He's not completely
He's looking
dead.
Good to start the round. Everybody can look good after they come off that stool for 90 seconds. I just think that he's going to start to feel this pace again. Aaron Bronstetter, who I do respect as an analyst, says 10-9 Steele after round one. So we're not just out to lunch.
Ooh.
Somebody else on the broadcast agreeing with our takes here. We thought Cody Steele got that first round 10-9, but also thought that he looked a little bit fresher coming out of that one. And he's starting to be a little bit more aggressive now in this second round. He's walking him down. Chasen Blair is the one who's been throwing a little more, but I think he's starting to get a little more labored in these shots. And that was a good left hand by Cody. He's starting to try and unload with these big shots. Nice to the body.
Let's go. Nice left hook to the body. That's going to wear on the gas tank, too.
That was a good high kick from Blair. I think Cody should try and rip some body kicks. I think that'd be a really effective tool.
This guy's breaking, bro. He's got to put some pressure on him. Just keep,
That's a good low kick. See, Blair is so flat. Oh, there was the body kick I was calling for. Nicely done, Cody Steele. He's making the right reads, I feel. You got to keep touching this guy to the body because see how he's doing that little bounce around step? He can't do that for very long. So he does it and then he stops and he gets flat-footed. It's one thing I noticed on tape a lot, and that's why he throws back with such intent. He does not want you to come chase him down. He does not want to have to keep moving his feet. He wants to have respect. See how he's just setting the feet and throwing over and over?
It's a great read.
Thank you, man. If I was coaching against him, I would be telling my guys, kick the shit out of his legs and then, punt him in the body.
I'd like to see Cody cut him off a little bit here. Really pin him up against the cage.
Yeah, I think he's very fatigued right now, and I think this is when Cody should go for the
Rip
kill.
to the
I
body.
think he should rip exactly.
Rip to the
exactly.
fucking part of my language. You know what I
You're
want to
all
say.
good, buddy. He should try and get him to, flee from the left hook. I would be investing a lot in the left hook right now and then go big open side right body kick. That's what I'd want. See how he just switched his stance? That's what I'd be threatening with that left hook upstairs and then going big open side body kick.
Oh, nice.
See, he just let him switch stances off that. I wouldn't have let him. Or I would have tried to coach him not to let him.
Oh, nice jab from Cody. He's starting to land here, man.
He's being a little too patient for my liking. I wish he would
agree.
just be a touch more assertive in these exchanges.
Me
He's
too,
got
brother.
the ability to throw these kicks. He's shown it, but he's just not willing to sit down on a lot of them. He just went up the middle with that. See, I'd like it to be wide. Oh, nice shots upstairs, though. Man, Chasen Blair's a tough guy.
He's tough.
You
He's
can
tough.
tell he's
I
hard
agree.
to put down with strikes.
I agree.
Nice shots upstairs. And now downstairs. Cody Steele just lit him up with a combination. Real bad. Jason Blair answered with his own shots, but he is getting touched. He just went down to a liver shot. It's over. It's over. Knockout round 2 for Cody Steele. He just put him in the box. Liver shot. Sit down. Cashed it for my guy, JB. Cash the KO. What did we say? Back to the dock, guys. Back to the dock. Steele ITD. We said sub or KO. We said stoppage 1-2. And he found a way to get it done. Oh!
Let's go.
Woo!
Yeah, that was a nasty
What did we
body
say?
shot.
He needed to turn it up at the end of round 2. What a guy. Cody Steele, ITD.
Bro, you should coach
Bang,
some
bang,
MMA,
play.
man. With these reads, you should coach some MMA.
Let's go.
Who is it in his corner? John Wood? John Wood. You got my man PicksFights.
Let's go, guys. Cody Steele. They thought he wasn't the one. He's the one. He's the one. All right? He ain't Crone Gracie. No disrespect. This is not jiu-jitsu. We're not playing guard pulls, okay? We're trying to take heads, right? And it's Gerald Mearshart. We're striking people into unconsciousness and then claiming it for jiu-jitsu. Simple.
I'm just saying, Asian guy. He's a submission guy. Nah, he ain't no submission guy. That's all I'm gonna say.
Dude, that was a crazy body shot.
That's like what, his fourth KO?
I'm telling you, Chasen Blair is tough as shit. Tough as shit. Wait, guys, can I just say, Chasen Blair, decent wrestling, opportunistic subs, liable to be submitted, flat-footed at times, can be clipped on the chin, can be outworked as well. There it is. Curtis, I'm sorry, man, on the steal by sub. I thought steal by sub was a good bet. I still think that it was probably a good bet.
I agree.
You know, honestly.
He could have not, the ref could have not stopped it. He could have took his back.
I don't think Blair KO was a bad bet at plus 750. I think if you took that on the dog, I don't think that
Steele
was a
is
bad
just
bet
so
either.
tough, bro.
Dude,
He's just
Steele
got
is dog tough. The one thing I'll say is, dude, he was all over the place in round 1. Like I thought he won, but he was all over the place. Okay, so main event in the dock, guys. Here we go. This one I had to write up super quick. I was on the line with VB. I did talk about this fight on my show last night, though, if you guys missed it. But let's talk about it, right? Let's talk about the main event of the evening. And we've got Artem Vakitov taking on Islam Masarov. And honestly, guys, this doesn't seem like a fight where you should have one guy as a massive favorite, to me personally. Reason I say that is because Artem on the feet definitely should be a favorite, right? But you're talking about a light heavyweight fight where there is some inherent volatility. The other thing you want to note is when somebody transitions over from kickboxing, you always want to say, yes, I posted this on Twitter. The Artem kneeing and punching the medicine ball, that is absolutely incredible, right? His offense is insane. But here's the one thing I'll note. If you watch kickboxing, guys, it's always important to watch a guy's kickboxing matches and try and think to yourself, would his style translate to MMA? Because a lot of habits are ingrained in your brain from kickboxing. And I will just say, a lot of Artem Vakitov's fights, he has a high guard, a very traditional high guard, and he uses the gloves to block everything, right? Like a lot of what he does is he goes like here, here, and it's like just covering his midsection and his head with the big 12-ounce gloves in kickboxing. And I do think that when you look at Islam Masarov, if he messes around on the feet, it's probably not going to end up working out well for him, right? Like he's probably going to end up getting smoked. But Vakitov has never fought anybody good in MMA. It just hasn't happened, right? So the guys he has fought, he's been able to muscle them to the ground. When they went for takedowns, he was able to horse them to their back and then get on top and use ground and pound. Like, it doesn't look like he's a total zero on the mat. But what it does look like is he's a guy that is probably used to having his way in all positions, and he's probably never been in really bad adversity underneath. So you look at a guy like Islam Masarov, and what does the tape tell us? Is he like a guy who's a primary grappler? Not necessarily, but what does he do? If somebody else tries to wrestle and grapple with him, he doesn't disengage, right? He doesn't look to break away. He looks to aggressively submit them, right? And he went for a guillotine like his life depended on it against that one dude who was trying to wrestle all night, and he eventually got it. And for me, I look at a guy like that and I say, he's got the tenacity. He's got the know-how, right? The guillotine was pretty solid that he kept going for. I was like, okay, he's got some decent ability. And this other guy might just be a complete fraud on the mat, right? So I think Vakitov, if it's an isolated event and it's a kickboxing match, I would put him at probably a similar favorite price to what he is here. But it's not a kickboxing match. It's a mixed martial arts fight. And here's the other thing. Are we positive he couldn't get pushed into the fence and this guy just humps his leg and, has the worst decision of all time at 3-0 and neither one of these guys get signed? Vakitov's the guy that they're here, bringing him around for an opportunity. But here's the other thing I'll just note before I kick it to my guy, JB. France is a big emerging market for them. They're always looking for new French talent. They've brought in a bunch of guys that have stunk up the joint. They're still getting featured bouts like William Gomez because that's who they have, right? They're looking for anybody that they could put in these spots. And so you've got a guy in Islam Masarov, and he's got the look, and he's fighting out of the right place. Could he not be another, plug-and-fill piece for them? I think that either one of these guys could be a fine signing, but they're both super inexperienced. So it seems like a really volatile fight. And if this was going on in Aries FC, the line probably just wouldn't be this way, right? So that's the way I see it, my man. How do you see this fight, and what do you got? I know that it's part of the JB special, bro.
Yeah, this is it. This is the last leg, right? So see if we can hit 2 in a row. I feel kind of good about it. I don't think any underdogs hit yet either, so that kind of makes me feel even better, but could just be a favorite night. You never know. Look, man, just like you're putting right there, unproven, limited experience, grappling never to end. He's a -4 something. You got the name that's added to the market, the fact that he was the last guy to beat Alex Pereira, I think that's factored into the line. I think he's got to clinch up right away. Let's cage push. Let's get this guy tired. I could see Vakitov knocking him out in the first round, but I could also see this other guy making a greasy fight and possibly winning a decision. I don't think he's going to KO Vakitov, which I see you don't really think the same thing either.
Sub or decision, brother?
I could see the sub. Just for the fact of the matter is this guy's, like you said, he's never, had to grapple at the high level. He's a kickboxer at the end of the day. We've seen the Cesar Almeidas get taken down in the UFC. We've seen, the Cesar Almeidas make it, but not everybody's Cesar Almeida. Not everybody's Alex Pereira, who's in the crowd right now, by the way. I think we could see an upset here, man. I wanted to just so I could cash this ticket and then go celebrate, man. So Masarov is the play for me. I got him at plus 360. I don't know what the line is now, but I think there's value there, bro.
My man, we totally agree on this fight, right? It's simple for me. You don't lay kickboxers at -400, right? I took Khalil Roundtree at plus 3XX just like you did, my brother. And a lot of people give us grief before the fight. And then after the fight, they go, wow, Khalil overperformed my expectations. He did so much better than I thought. And that's kind of what you're looking for in betting opportunities, right? Guys that are underpriced, looking for people to overperform expectation. Nobody's expecting anything from Islam Masarov, despite the fact he has 5 MMA fights, 2 amateur, 3 professional. He's got a submission on his record. Guys, we know that Alex Pereira, right, has turned into one of the best fighters we've seen in the UFC. So we'll talk about Pereira for this example. He got submitted by Canelo Tony when he was early
Yep.
in his MMA career, right?
a great
it show
example.
that he was a terrible fighter, or did it show that he was inexperienced in MMA? And by the way, did he go out there and get submitted by a process grappler? No, he got boinged up on the feet. He got rocked all over the place by a 155-pounder. That's the God's honest truth. So when you look back at it, the thing is, like, it's a volatile sport, right? It's a crazy sport. We've seen Pinto at minus 700 go out there and clean him up like he's supposed to. But
Right.
we've also seen earlier this year, Unensi Dubin go out there and start Shannon Clark in a fight she's supposed to be a no-hoper. They literally bring in some girl from Venezuela that didn't have any money, didn't have any coaches or opportunity, and she goes out there and flatlines an LFA champion, and now she's like, Dana White's favorite prospect. It's like, that is how quickly this sport moves. So Vakitov, the one thing I will note, guys, before this fight gets started is, number one, he had one fight where he dislocated his elbow and just like checked out. And again, nothing wrong with that, right? But is that the kind of guy I want to put money on at minus big prices? I'm a little bit weary, honestly. Look what happened with Kevin Holland over the weekend. A lot of people said, like, man, that sucks. Like, he got injured. Yeah, but also we know other guys that get injured and just keep trying or keep finding a way. Like, and again, I'm not even criticizing at all. But I'm just saying, like, we know these guys that will not give up for anything. You have to pull them out of the octagon with a hook. And then other guys, like, something goes wrong. Anthony Pettis, right? He broke his hand. That you knew the fight was going to be over, no matter what. So it's just like, you got to cap these kind of things in. And for me, I'm looking at Vakitov and saying, talented, yes. But is there some room for concern? Yeah. Also a little bit on the older side. Maybe not the most physical looking guy you've ever seen. Okay. And then the last thing that we'll note here is Alex Pereira was asked about him. He's like asked about his expectations for him. And you know that Pereira has some incentive to shit talk or whatever. But basically what he said was, he's like, not everybody's going to be me and Izzy. Like, not everybody's going to just do this and like come over and have this career and like make a way at it. And one thing you have to note, Izzy came over with 20 professional MMA fights under his belt. Like, most of these guys go out there and get some real fights in MMA, or like Alex did, they took a fight way long ago, then they got more experience working with Glover Teixeira on the mat and all these things. Maybe Vakitov's done everything right, but if there's been any foibles in the plans, here's the thing I'll note, guys. These other guys wanted to move over to mixed martial arts, right? Vakitov was dismissed from Glory, not by his own doing. All Russian athletes were dismissed from Glory because of the war and the inability for them to book them effectively. I read a press release about it, so I was just like, this guy's like just looking for a job. Like, he's literally like out there looking for employment. So just like, I think he could definitely win. Like, he's not a scrub, but it's a presumptuous line, I feel, for the skill set we know he has. That's all. He's fun to watch, though, guys. I did say, if you guys follow me on Twitter, he would be a fun addition to the roster. If you watch his medicine ball video, it's awesome. I showed it on the program the other day. Let me go find it. At LiamPicksFights. Vakitov. Man, this is crazy. Here, I'm about to share this on screen for you folks. So take a look here. Look at this guy, Vakitov, with a medicine ball, keeping it upright with knees and punches.
Sick.
Just absolutely insane level of athleticism there. You know that this guy's got crazy power, but the whole thing is, if you can just change the phase of the fight, everything could be so different. And for me, that's the one thing that I do think Islam Masharev presents as a challenge. He could go out there and, go out there and look to take him down, mix it up in a phase that this guy's not as comfortable.
He should be the favorite, but just not as wide as he is. That's it for me.
There it is, brother. Price prohibitive.
And you know what? I appreciate you, my man Dixon, but we're against each other here. May the best man win. And good luck, bro. Like I said, may the best man win. I don't see, this guy's past definitely the KO, but I think this is going to be a lot closer fight than people think. And I will just say this: when you're hot, you're hot. And when you're not, you're not. And I did just cash one a couple days ago. And I don't want to get cocky because you got to stay humble in this game. You're only as good as your last bet. So, but yeah, it's going to be a good fight, man. Banger night of fights too, as well. Banger night of fights.
I'm so excited because I'm seeing a lot of people in the Patreon chat that have hit the Steel KO and the
ITD?
Steel KO too.
Beautiful.
So that is absolutely beautiful, as well as Steel round 2. So just so y'all don't think we're blowing smoke, y'all can see for yourself. Round 2 finish. Thank you, Liam. Hit that round 2. Cody, round 2 KO call. Steel is relentless. You're damn right he is. What a killer. And shout out to everybody who supports on Patreon. Shout out to everybody who's rocking with us live in the chat. Shout out to everybody who is supporting with the channel memberships. God bless you all. Thank you guys for the support. We've been on a great run, and hopefully we can keep it going. Islam Masrov making the walk right now. Any final thoughts, my man, JB?
No, dude, that's why my phone was going off a few seconds ago. It's the chat. It's the chat going off on my phone.
Oh, hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Guys, what I always talk about, too, is it's not just me. You get some of the sharpest minds in the game. Happy to say our guy JB in the chat as well on the Patreon, and we've been dialed, right? Like, we both were loving Court McGee by sub and Ryan Span sub.
That was a good call,
1,
bro.
And it was a very good run out for us, right? So let's see if we can keep that energy rolling into not only this last fight of the night, but also UFC Vegas 98, guys, going down this weekend. My favorite fighter in the UFC back in action this week. But before we get there, we got to go here. It's light heavyweight action. It's going down right now. The 28-year-old Islam Masrov is about to take on the 33-year-old Artem Vakitov, the Glory Kickboxing champion, who has a win over Alex Poatan Pereira. Should be a fascinating fight. I'm excited to see this one. About size parity on these guys as well. So the younger guy here is Islam Masrov. Let's see if he can go out there and shock the world. We haven't gotten a underdog yet on Contender Series. Can we get one? Touch of the gloves, and we're underway. It looks like Masrov is the bigger guy as they're starting off this fight.
I would say so,
is looking
too.
To close down the range.
And
right
man,
into the
clinch.
Exchange. Right into the clinch.
That was a hot start. That's what I'll say. Nice knees to the body though from this guy here, but he's engaging in the grappling.
You know what's kind of interesting too is you saw Masrov go for like a foot sweep, like a judo throw almost, and it wasn't successful. But again, you mentioned Vakitov's willing to engage in this clinch, and what just happened? He just flat backed himself like a fool against the side of the cage. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but that was some amateurish shit. And it looked like
keep the position though.
Nice takedown attempt here from Masrov, but
beautiful.
It is getting D'd up a little bit by this underhook. Now my stream has frozen. What about you?
I'm watching still, and it looks like they're open here in space. A few feints here from Masrov. I will say, like you said, he does look like the bigger fighter. But out in space, obviously, this other guy's going to be dangerous. Big shots back into the clinch, and Masrov's pushed up against the cage. I don't like, it looks like, dang, what's this guy's last name? How do I say it?
Vakitov.
Vakitov is squeezing a lot here. He's not really pummeling. He's looking to squeeze, and he almost takes down Masrov. Masrov's posted on a hand. He gets in a nice shot, cheeky shot there in the clinch, and he's clinched up here.
Yeah, I think Vakitov is fighting super suboptimal, and live Masrov, if you can, I think.
Nice elbows
honestly,
here.
Like, I just don't like this game plan that I'm seeing from Vakitov. He doesn't
Weird.
look horrible,
It's
but he
working.
does look like he's not being energy and
I agree.
Efficient.
Nice whizzer, though. A strong whizzer. I'd like to see him pummel this underhook more actively with a wrist control, Masrov, that is. He hasn't really no urgency to get off the cage here, which I don't know why he would. Look to reverse this position.
I think he's like, wait, I get to grapple with you without like forcing you to? You're just willing? Okay.
Crazy, brother. But I will say, for a kickboxer, he doesn't look like a complete zero here. Nice knees,
dude, that's what I was saying. He's not bad, but he's like too willing. And he did get like a mount on a very bad guy, but it showed me he was like trying to grapple, and he had a terrible mount.
He could hit this guy too, man. The hands are there. Oh, he's got to be careful though. Is your stream
Wild
nice,
exchange
nasty
takedown though?
He's got the beautiful.
Oh, good. Man, this guy is so bad at grappling, but he's still way better than Vakitov.
I know.
You could see that he's just making a lot of the wrong decisions that's allowing Vakitov to keep getting back up.
Agree.
But also, Vakitov is not very good in these situations, and you're seeing him make some very beginner mistakes. If Masrov was able to just lift the ankle, then he would have been able to take his back there, but instead he like dropped the ankle back down and let the guy stand.
Yeah. And you know what? This guy's landing some knees here that are definitely going to wear on the tank of Masterov. You know, those bodies.
His clinch work has been basically all that he's offered so far.
Yeah.
It's been a strange fight. He's doing a good job controlling these clinch exchanges, but
gotta
then
watch
like
that
suddenly
knee.
he'll get taken down or flat back himself. Like, and he's definitely being forced into these uncomfortable wrestling exchanges. Now look at that. He just tried to wrestle into a mount exchange, and now he's trying to take the back. Nice couple of short shots though with the right hand.
He's got to be careful.
Masterov just opened up with his own left.
That was nice. Yeah. He's got to be careful in those extended exchanges though.
Yeah, he just got.
This guy is a sniper.
Right hand.
This guy is a sniper. We'll be honest with you.
Vakitov definitely doesn't look like a traditional athlete though.
I agree. Oh, nice jab though. A little bit. This Masterov guy just. Oh,
He's
nice left hand though.
leaping.
Yeah, he's got to throw it.
I mean, these takedown attempts are getting pretty horrific.
Yeah, really bad.
I think that honestly, if he can get Vakitov to shoot a takedown, he can guillotine him. That's what he needs right now.
That would be insane, bro. If you call that.
Because Vakitov is just
he's willingly
just hurt him with a big shot. Vakitov has him turned around.
I think this is it. I think this is it.
Over.
Yep.
It's over.
He finished him.
Man, it was all favorites tonight. But look at this. Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, Masterov tried to wrestle, and he's not a wrestler. And, that was unfortunately what happened.
I don't really know what other props I could have. I don't really know what other props I could have picked either for the night, other than Cody Steele KO. Like I don't know.
There hasn't. You probably would have had to go 3 deep. You know.
Yeah, I agree.
I think the decision was plus 175, best available for the first fight of the night.
I don't even consider
to go
those
piece by piece, but yeah, it was mostly chalk.
So
yeah, shout out to Trap Lord 2024. Chalk continues to run hot. Vakitov is not too bad, says Tristan. Honestly, I think Vakitov is really, really bad. I think that we just found out Islam Masterov and most French MMA is even worse. So honestly, like Islam Masterov had some chances there, and he really was like all over the place and quite sloppy. I think a good wrestler would embarrass Vakitov very, very, very badly.
Well, I made money. I had Cody Steele KO.
Hell yeah. Dude, you had Cody Steele 5-1.
I got it at plus 410, unfortunately, but I mean, I'll take that.
There you go. Same idea.
Still good work. I thought value up to plus 300, honestly, bro. I really thought he was going to knock this guy
shout
out.
out to our guy Dixon. He cashed it.
Good job, bro.
We're
I know you got me blocked, but congratulations, bro. I still have love for you. I still want you to win, my dude.
Yeah, and if you look, guys, I basically said here the prediction was Vakitov KO 1 or 2. The props to consider round 1 at plus 110. I'll always give you the way that I see both sides, right? I thought the money line side was Masterov because I'm not laying minus 500 on a guy who flat backs himself in the clinch. However, it is a guy that showed he just had the better fundamentals, right? When they were in the clinch, he's more damaging with his shots. When they were at space, he's way more lethal with his strikes. And so he was just a way more dangerous fighter tonight. He didn't put himself in too many bad positions, but to just flat back yourself like that in the first exchange of the fight against a good fighter, that could have just been wrapped. So that for me is the lesson learned is I will be fading this guy heavily in the UFC, but unless they give him Andreas Michailidis.
Yeah, you know what, man? That guy just he didn't have the grappling to get it done, bro. That guy was a absolute zero in the grappling, bro. This guy is going to get absolutely mauled the second he faces a half decent grappler with a semblance of wrestling and jiu-jitsu. That's my read.
Absolutely.
Yo, Dixon, you're absolutely right. And if you can, join my man Liam in the Patreon. I'm up in there, and you got these write-ups, man. He called it right there. It's Vatikov, round 1, KO, which he got done, or Masterov. And the thing is, Masterov was the right side. We just didn't know. We didn't know. He could have definitely had a grappling advantage there if he tried. Dude, he literally pulled him into mount. He pulled him into mount. So
Vakitov is still a liability. That's what I would say.
Big work in progress.
We will be looking for the fade equity when he gets to the UFC. That's for sure.
Bingo. Yeah, honestly,
yeah.
I agree. He the only way he was winning that is if this guy shot a dumb, stupid shot into the guillotine.
Yeah, and see, honestly, like he tried. He tried to like shoot himself into these bad situations, and Masraf still couldn't put him away. Unfortunate. But shout
Yeah,
out to everybody who's rocking with us. We got Gray saying the Patreon is on fire. Absolutely. We've been crushing the last little bit, but we're never getting too big for our britches, guys. What we're going to do is get right back to work. We got UFC Vegas 98. I do have one bet locked in already for this card, and I anticipate having more. There's some underdogs that I think are live on this card. There's some favorites I like. So there's a lot to dig into. It's a UFC Vegas dumpster dive like I did with my guy Clint, but it's still, a card where I think there's exploitable betting opportunities. So Lord willing, we can keep the ball rolling, and I appreciate everybody for rocking with us. I appreciate the support. I appreciate my guy JB for coming on and dropping the hammer with us. Cody Steele, KO at big plus money numbers. I hope you guys were able to get involved. We had Vakatov in the write-up here. So ultimately, was it our best night of write-ups? No, but were the write-ups still profitable at the end of the day? Yes, they were. Cody Steele, ITD, KO was shouted out. Round 2 was shouted out. So plenty of different ways to get paid on the opportunities tonight. And Lord willing, we keep it rolling at UFC Vegas 98. So thank you guys once again for the support. JB, let the people know where they can find you, my man.
Yo, guys, you can find me on all social media platforms at MMA Line Mover. That is at MMA Line Mover. I got the phone blowing up. Everyone is probably saying, so close, right? Or they're saying, dude, you're an idiot. That guy sucked. What were you thinking? But I don't care. I would have taken that bet 9 times out of 10. And sometimes when you're trying to take these plus 300s or more, they don't hit on the card. There's only one that hits. And if you get the one and there's no others, well, guys, there's nothing you can do about it. So we'll take the profit where we could get it on our single bets, which is the way to go. These parlays are just something extra.
Exactly. What we try and do is, look for a intelligent approach, right? So people said, what's your favorite, I'm now blanking. Lamborghini play. That's what it's called. Sorry, guys. I always forget these specific terminology. You got used Corollas. You got all these different things. But the Lamborghini plays, right? He asked, what's your favorite one? And I said Court McGee by sub. That was the biggest plus money of them all, guys. It was 8-1, right? And then the one that ended up crashing it out was, what's it called? Aldo by KO at like plus 650, plus 700. It was the mid-range, man. We hit the Lindsay 550. We hit
Beautiful.
Court McGee sub, which, by the way, guys, here's the real thing I'm proud of. Court McGee hadn't subbed anybody since 2010. All right? So that's why I was very happy with the fact that we're not just looking at, what other people think. We're trying to come up with independent analysis and say, hey, what is the most logical outcome? And we won't always be right, but we're always going to have facts, justification, written analysis. Here's why I think what I think. And then you can always disagree with me, right? If you guys read the write-up and think this doesn't make any lick of sense, then go ahead and pick on the other side. But always round robin, says my guy Dixon. Tell the folks, absolutely. And we cashed them both independently as well. But we're winning our edge. So if we can find good parlay opportunities, I'm not going to look for parlays that are 6 legs of minus 1,000. That's not my style. But two legs of plus 1,000, yeah, something like that we could get on board with. So, guys, that's the approach from now on, moving forward, keeping the same structure that we've been on, but always looking to just make the slight tweaks and improve because we can always do better, right? We're 4 years in the green right now, but we're never satisfied with the results. We're always working to improve that ROI, working to improve that risk calculation, working to improve the analysis. So there's always room for improvement, and we're right back to it. I've got more work to do today. I've got a UFC Vegas 98 navigation document to write up. So thank you guys so much. The idea board has been on fire as well. So we've just been cooking. We've been cooking with gas. Lord willing, we keep the ball rolling this week, guys. God bless you all. Thank you so much for your time. Come back, and we're doing it all again. Thanks, everybody.